Okay. I don't know, people. Is this even on? It says 2 are watching. Okay. I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear the music? No answer, huh? Well, I'm not rushing for you anyway. So basically what's happening here is I'm going blind. Yeah. I went and seen the eye doctor yesterday. And, of course, they put freezing agent into my eye. And they took like a little EpiPen of sorts, and they put it on your eyeball, right? And you don't feel it because your eyeball is frozen. And then what happened is I freaked out the technician because my eye pressure was high. Right? See how I get different formats on this? Well, you can't see what's going on. Why does it look like that? Obviously, I haven't figured this out yet. So basically, what I'm going to do here in my blindness, because before I left, they gave me this stuff right here. This is the old eye drops. I put some in today at 10 o'clock this morning, and I'm telling you, I can't see. I see worse today than I did yesterday. And my eyes feel, I don't know, already dry, itchy. No, not itchy, but they're irritated. I'm fucking irritated, man. I can barely read the print on the computer. One, because they've changed the fonts. They changed the fonts. What's going on here? They changed the fonts. Is this 2? I don't know. I forget. No, it looks okay. I'll go back to that. Anyway. They changed the font. They changed the font color on the computer where they're kind of like a light gray now. So it was hard enough to read them. YouTube just recently changed over their message board into a lighter font. And boy, oh boy, it was hard for my eyes. And then they came along with their new, front page with the bigger, bright colored, video thumbnails, right? All in a row. And so when you turn on the page, it just flash out at you, right? I made too many web pages, done too many things, and my eyes are just going on me. So anyway, I'm having a really difficult time, so I don't know if this is going to get worse or if it's going to get better. Because they asked me if I'm still using the same glasses that I had from before. And I said yes, and I don't expect to get any glasses anytime soon. So these ones I cannot use on the computer. It's impossible. And I can barely use the bottom part with the to read. I like this part here for when I'm sewing. That's the only time I really like to use these glasses, and I would prefer that to be more, right? But as it is, right? And then the dollar store glasses are the only ones that I can read on the computer. However, my eyes have been going on me, and since yesterday, they've gotten like 10 times worse. So I'm trying not to get frightened here. Right? But I figure like this, I should continue to, read things. Like this is ShaMay's, right? Inner monologue. I said I would do that. I have a couple of hours tonight. That is right here. So I'm going to start on page 13 on February 5th, 2013. So I'll find that as I'm talking, right? And it's going to be a rough ride here, people. Okay? I don't know how much longer I'm going to have my eyesight for. Now, I've got different dollar store glasses around the house, so I'm going to have to dig them up. And maybe I'll find something that will work for me. I don't know. My pressure was 49 psi in one eye and 42 in the other eye. That was yesterday. And then the technician reminded me that in 2016, I had a pressure of 16 in one eye and 19 in the other. In other words, this stuff was working. But that was their opinion, because back in those days, I felt like thumbs were in my eyes constantly, right? And it sure in hell didn't do anything for the pressure and all that shit going on in my head. And I felt like I was losing my eyesight then. And plus my nose was really runny. So I ended up just kind of falling off the grid there. And then what happened was, when I went to, try and see the eye doctor, they run on like every 6 months you have to get a referral from your family doctor. So because I go to the doctor at best once a year, I go to the doctor's office and they tell me that my file is like archived. So of course I leave, and then I don't show up for another year. And then I have to wait the 8 months just to see the doctor. So, there's lots of variables in there, right? Either or, I'm losing my eyesight, so it doesn't really matter one way or another. And the best thing that I can do is just take it in stride. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm taking it in stride. Right? And I got a little bit of time, so I'm going to try and read this, some of it. I may not read it all because I'm really struggling with this. Okay, for some reason I want to start on February 5th. But I'm pretty sure I read more than that. But I think I'm going to start on February 5th and then just read for a bit. But before I do that, there are 3 things I do want to talk about. In what order? Doesn't really matter. I think part of this exercise is to show people that watch my videos for informative reasons and not just for entertainment. Right? I should charge tickets. My eyesight is going, and it's very difficult for me to be able to even read the address bar compared to the last time I did before I went and seen the eye doctor, people. I could read those yesterday. I can't read them now since I've seen the eye doctor and I started the eye fucking drops. And I'm trying not to have a panic attack here because, I'm like, okay, you like to write sometimes with paper and pen, you know? What you gonna do when you can't do that no more? And my head's like thinking, right? And I'm like, well, get yourself a computer where you can dictate. And then I cut myself up and I say, dictate? I don't know how to dictate. I take pen to paper, right? You know? I'm going to dictate to a computer because I'm blind and I can't write it or type it out. But that would be my only alternative. And of course, because I'm poor, right? And that's nothing, I'm never going to get that. Only in my head. Only in my head, right? So, okay, where are we? See, I can't see people. Now, I did come across something really nice here yesterday. On my way home from the eye doctor. I bought 2 beautiful magnifying glasses. Specifically to do more videos on ShaMay and documenting key areas of where she's decomposed in those pictures. Okay? But for tonight, we'll use this one. Do you see how big this is? Can you see? Hold on. Isn't that just lovely? Works pretty good. But you gotta have hand-eye coordination. Okay, so for this person, 3 topics. I'm going to read some of ShaMay's monologue because we're going to finish up with that, right? Because it's important, people. And then I'm going to talk about Julian because I'm kind of being razzed right now by a person who watches my videos that has been asking me all these questions as if, you know, I have the answer to each and every one of them, which I do not, right? And, you know, it's kind of obnoxious because, one, they have poor English skills in terms of the written language. So I'm not trying to critique. I'm not trying to criticize. I'm not trying to cast judgment here. I'm just trying to read people this light gray print on a white bright screen, right, that's blaring at me, you know, and this person's like writing paragraphs like this. Well, they're not even a paragraph though. That's the thing, full of run-on sentences with broken English in there, and expecting me to figure out the whatever, and you know, and it's like I don't want to be rude and fucking have to like start deleting comments or what do you call it, banning the person, because for all I know, people, you know, this could be somebody from the Duncan clan, you know, could be fucking Cheryl back up on the horse, you know, and her fucking aunts, you know, in terms of Uncle John. Or it could be Julian's sister because she's been stalking me, and this person that's been trying to have this conversation with me to get this information, okay, like, you know, saying that what I'm saying is entertainment in regards to the stalking part of what's been going on in my life before ShaMay died, people. It wasn't just after. It was before. You have to remember, ShaMay came home from the hospital, and because the girls were going to switch over the bedrooms and ShaMay was going to get the bigger bedroom, because at first Tisha didn't want to give up her bedroom, okay? When ShaMay was down there and, you know, in her room, whatever, and it was determined she was going to keep her baby, and, you know, I started egging Tisha on, like, you know, Tisha, she's going to have a baby. You really need to kind of vacate the bigger room and go into the smaller room. I don't want to leave my room. I like my room. So nobody pushed it. And then eventually Tisha, you know, came to, you know, to the realization that that was the better choice for the baby, right, and for ShaMay. And so she graciously gave up her room for ShaMay to switch over rooms. And that just so happened to happen at around the time when the baby was coming, because that's when the reality of baby in the house set in. So, you know, it was kind of hard to have ShaMay in her bedroom if the two rooms were going to be switched around. So I offered her to be upstairs, but I also gave her the option to stay upstairs for as long as she wanted, people. If she wanted to be there for a week, a month, 6 months, a year, it would not have mattered to me. I would have allowed ShaMay to stay in that room with Amari. My only stipulation was that Julian and his sister, well, at first, I didn't want neither one of them coming upstairs into my house to see Amari. ShaMay could have taken them downstairs into the living room. Right? This was like as soon as she got home from the hospital, people. All right? And that was because I was already having problems. Well, obviously, I was having problems with Julian, right? But, you know, this girl has never been friendly. And if it has been, you know, it's been very superficial. Because if it wouldn't have been superficial, people, I wouldn't be talking about this shit today. Okay, so whatever. So ShaMay fought. You know, oh, you know, she fought with me. Oh, well, you know, okay, Julian, fine. Yeah, no, I won't let him in the house. Blah, blah. But, you know, his sister, why can't she come into the bedroom and sit on the bed with the baby? And I said, okay, only during the day. Right? I compromised, people. I compromised. Well, the next night, that night, whatever the fuck night it was, 2 nights in a row. And finally I said, ShaMay, you need to go downstairs. Because what was happening was Julian and his sister were coming to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning and running around here doing what they wanted as they were visiting the fucking baby. So when you see a picture of Julian holding a baby with the background of my shit in there, right? That's only because he was sneaking around my house at 3 o'clock in the morning breaking the house rules. Right along with his sister. Drinking my beer. My birthday beer. Going into my sewing room, poking at my shit, plotting and scheming behind my back as I'm sleeping. By night 2, I said, fuck ShaMay, no, you need to go back downstairs. So that's when they whisked her off to his mother's house for the week. For the week, people, as the girls switched over the rooms. But she didn't even last 2 days there before she hopped in a taxi and ran back here and left all her shit behind. Okay? Because he was manhandling her. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. So, for this person to be suggesting that, you know, I'm just entertainment, and that you don't believe anything I got to fucking say here. Like, be grateful I leave your long-ass comment up so that you can learn how to write properly. Because I'm like, you know, just block the person. Obviously, it's a troll. You know, trying to sidetrack you. Code monster. Could be a code monster. You know, getting you to type out all this shit, defending you on the internet. Oh, you know, right? Right? And then turn around and do a fast one, stab you in the fucking back. Right? Start treating you like shit. Like, well, wouldn't be the first and wouldn't be the last, right? I'm going blind. It's hard for me to read mumble jumble. Never mind fucking anything on the internet at this point. And if it's gonna be like this when I see it, as I'm seeing this eye doctor, I'm hooped, people. I'm like literally fucking hooped here. Okay? Because I have a lot of paperwork I have to do, and if I can't see it, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. Right? I really don't. I looked up crowdfunding today, and there's I can't wait for other people to help me with it. I gotta figure it out for myself. Right? What am I looking for? Oh yeah. Funraz. I sent them an email. I asked them if I can fundraise for a retainer for a lawyer for 50 grand. If they say I can, then I'm going to put it up. Because it's not like I haven't tried to do it before, people, when they took Andre. And this is what I'm reading on about Andre, right? Because I did. I did back in the day when, I know you can't probably really see that very well. What can we do here? Hold on. I'm going like this because I can't see. That's why. Do you see this? Litigation for Andre, Chorney, and family. Okay, I've done this before, people. What's the date on it? Hold on. Why am I having such a hard time? You can see the date, right? That was May 5th. Because I couldn't get a lawyer, people. I couldn't get a lawyer because I didn't qualify at legal aid. Because I was a lowly grandmother. I don't know. That's whatever I wrote on there is all there. Maybe I'll post that one day. That's how I wrote it. I don't know how many pages. Maybe just one. They're just, yeah, just basic. Just that. And then, of course, I had video and all that. But somebody came in and flagged it. Right? Said you're not allowed to fundraise for a lawyer on GoFundMe. So I don't know whether that's true or not. And it was taken down. But then I don't really know anybody to be passing it around to get a lot of support. So it was a combination of a couple of things. Right? And then I went to the Supreme Court and I tried to file my own lawsuit to get attention from the Supreme Court to get my grandson back. And then I had some judge tell me in a case conference that I needed to go get a lawyer. I told him I couldn't. And he said, go try again. And when I did, I got it. But I'm not going to be getting no lawyer that way through legal aid. I'm thinking to go to legal aid and put the application in. So that when I do get to court, I'll have something to show the Attorney General how fucking skewed and bipolar his justice system is, right? In terms of, you know, who they refuse and who they accept through legal aid. Then they can't say I didn't try, right? They're just going to send me to pro bono, which will give me a 30-minute lawyer for 30 minutes that's going to argue with me for 15 like they did with Uncle John. Right? And then stamp on the word experienced so that when it hits the judge, as Fraser Health is saying, oh, but Your Honor, she went and she really did see a real lawyer and he was an experienced lawyer. CIBC Bank. Sorry. How did they know that? Did I tell them? Okay. I don't even know if I can read this, people. I gotta move this out of the way. And my mouse is getting wonky. Okay, let's just read for a bit. this person that is practicing their language skills, pay attention. This is how you're supposed to write. Not necessarily read it that way, but that's how bad my eyes have gotten in a period of 24 hours since seeing an eye doctor. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in a year from now. Me having to go every 3 months for this test, that test, or whatever the fuck it is that they're going to do. You should be able to see that. I'm going to read it from paper because it's hard for me to see the screen right now, okay? And I'll just bring this up. Where am I? Can't see. My God. What's the matter? Oh, what did I do? What did I do? So we're doing February 5th, Tuesday, but I'm going to read it this way. I think I'll be more successful at it doing it this way. I have to crop my neck like this just to be able to try and look at it from this angle. And that's a little rough. All right. Ciera had an appointment to see Andre and connect with Christina today. I asked Ciera if I could go with her. This is not working. I'm going to try these ones. If you think I'm faking the funk, you're an idiot. Okay? Not everything is entertainment. It's like my son would say, not everything is content. Okay. Let me try these. Ciera had an appointment to see Andre and connect with Christina today. I asked Ciera if I could go with her as Christina needed Ciera's permission to share confidential information regarding Ciera and Andre's case file. Ciera and I had written up a letter basically stating that Ciera Chorney gives permission to Christina Miller to allow me access all confidential information regarding Andre Chorney's and Ciera Chorney's case file, as well to also allow me and Tisha to participate in all Ciera's scheduled visits with Andre, and this would include meeting and other interactions when it relates to Andre and Ciera. This was for Ciera to sign in front of Christina. She put he, but it should be the. The purpose of this letter is for Christina. See, I'm having a very difficult time. Can't see shit. And this is how I'm going to go to court, people. As I'm begging for money. And then getting penalized from social services for having maybe a fundraiser for a lawyer. As I'm being denied from legal aid. Think about it. I'm having to use a flashlight more. See, if it's brighter, like this, I can see it better. But take away the flashlight, you're getting all blurry, like real fast. Let's try and read it off the internet. Fry my eyes some more. I don't know what the hell happened to my eyes. As Uncle John would say, don't worry. And he'd pat you like this, eh? Don't worry. We'll get through it together as a family. That's what he used to say all the time. Like the good old days. Right? I don't think these will work. Actually, maybe they will. Okay. The purpose of this letter is for Christina to stamp it with the Ministry of Children and Family Development logo, initial it and date it to confirm that she received it. That way, there is documentation proving that Christina is allowed to provide me information whenever I request it or when it is discussed. Now, you have to remember, people, Ciera was getting pretty much out of it by that time, and she never really could read because she never got it in school, people, right? For her, it was really, really difficult, and she got introduced to drugs at a very early age, and you know what they did teach her in the resource room didn't stick, right? So no surprises. So they took advantage of her illness. That's what they did. They really, really did. Right? You know, they put all this, well, the parent, you know, is the ultimate decision maker, but yet the parent couldn't make any decisions. And even when I came in with the written literature stating what those decisions were, right, which over a period of time I will provide through these little sessions that we're having here, they completely ignored it. And not only did I sign it or Ciera signed it, but everybody in the house signed it, including Uncle John and probably Auntie Joan a couple times. But, you know, these workers that do this kind of stuff, they just completely ignore it. So anyway, I can see better with these glasses on. My mom had given Ciera and me a ride to the office where we were supposed to see Andre. We arrived at 12:05 p.m. only to find out that Christina had canceled the appointment. This is 1 month after they took Andre. Well, not even a month. It was 20 days. Because they took him on January 15th from a daycare setting. The secretary had told us that Christina could not contact Ciera, and Ciera's number changed. However, Christina should have called the home in which we reside if she could not get a hold of Ciera through cellular devices. Ciera did not have a cell, and if she did, it was somebody else's cell number. Since Christina canceled the appointment, we asked for something in writing to state that the appointment was canceled on us. The secretary told us that Christina has to be the one to write a letter saying why the appointment was canceled, as she is the social worker currently involved with our case. We are expecting this for when we connect with her the next time. So the girls were sent away without even anything to suggest that they were there and that the appointment was canceled by the office and not Ciera and ShaMay. And they didn't find out about it being canceled until they got there. And that was February 5th of 2013. In the meantime, Ciera had contacted Christina via phone line later this day as to why the appointment was canceled. Christina said, "It was canceled as Ciera missed the last 4 visits. Due to this, now Ciera has to call in the morning to give a heads up if she is coming. The weird thing about this is we did call." I don't want this to slide around. Christina, we did call Christina in the morning and left a message on her answering machine letting her know that we were both coming in today, but I guess she never got it. Now, under a public union's discretion, in terms of if they were to scrutinize what ShaMay wrote there, it wouldn't be long before they'd be pointing the finger at her. Well, maybe not like that, but more like that, saying, "No, you're lying. You're lying. That's not what happened. You're lying." ShaMay had no reason to lie. ShaMay was a victim to this, people. February 7th, Thursday. The second court day and third scheduled visit to see Andre. This time, Ciera is coming with us. Together, Judy Lynn, my mom, Marcane, brother, Tisha, younger sister, Ashley, friend, Freddie, my boyfriend, and myself went to pick Ciera up. We arrived at the courthouse at 9:30 a.m., but we had to wait for our lawyer to show up around 11 a.m., and that would have been Ciera's lawyer. We didn't have a lawyer. 11:30 a.m. As Mr. Chambers, that was Ciera's lawyer, the lawyer, had something to do in Coquitlam. So in other words, he was late. And all we did was just hover around in the courthouse. Meanwhile, my mom was downstairs filing for custody of Andre. Yeah, because that's what I was advised to do by a lawyer talking on the phone, telling me that if I didn't do that, there was a high probability that I was going to lose my grandson to adoption. But you see, I tried to file for custody when Andre was actually in Ciera's stomach. I have the original paperwork that I started to fill out while pregnant to have custody of my grandson based on Ciera's past history with drug abuse. It wasn't that I wanted to keep Andre, because it wasn't. I just wanted to make sure that he was nurtured properly, as she was proving to everybody around her that she could be a part of that process. And I couldn't afford any mistakes, right? So it was just much more simpler to do it that way. But because he wasn't born, I couldn't do it. And then when he was born, we were going to do it, but the social workers talked Ciera out of it and said, "Oh, no, you're a family. You and Austin are a family. Just go onto my website under the lawyer fund and you'll see the story," right? I'll add the link in here. And just fucking caused havoc for over a year, trying to force Austin to be a dad when he didn't even want to be a dad, right? Sabotage Ciera for the longest time. Okay. Meanwhile, my mom was downstairs. You see, if I read it, you get more of the story, right? Meanwhile, because I was there. Meanwhile, my mom was downstairs. I don't know what's going on in the chat, if there's anything going on in the chat. It says 5 people watching. The rules are, if you're in the chat, I can't see you, right? So you just duke it out, okay? There is no monitors, none of that crap right now. And I don't get enough views, so I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, you're listening, so that's fine. So let's go back to what we were talking about. Here we go. All right. Meanwhile, my mom was downstairs filing for custody for Andre. When the papers were done processing, she came upstairs and had the lawyer serve Ciera, because I had to serve Ciera, right? Although Ciera already knew what I was doing, right? Ciera served Christina, and then Ciera served Christina, right? And my brother Marcane was supposed to serve Austin when we could get a hold of him. So I had to serve Ciera, the ministry, and Austin. Also, Ciera was going to come and see Andre with me today because it was ShaMay's visit. But because she had been up all night with no rest, and now that her mouth is starting to swell from an infection because she's got rotten teeth, people, she told Christina that I should only see Andre and that she wanted to see him next visit when she was more rested and not in pain from her mouth. After Ciera telling Christina this, I was a little upset because I know how much Andre misses his mom, and the fact that Ciera has already missed 4 appointments on her own made it seem like she was very abstract. So they canceled out on Ciera's appointments, but they haven't canceled out on ShaMay's appointment. Because Ciera was February 5th, that one the girls went, and they canceled based on Ciera. Right? And then Ciera was going to come on the 7th with ShaMay, but that was ShaMay's visit. So that's why ShaMay has a visit. After Ciera telling Christina this, I was a little upset because I know how much Andre misses his mom, and the fact that Ciera had already missed 4 appointments on her own made it seem like she was very abstract. Even though Ciera was tired and her mouth swelling was very visible, I still tried to encourage her to see Andre with me despite her not completely being aware. This time, I really did not want to see Andre on my own as it is too hard. Ciera wanted to see Andre a lot today. I was reconsidering going. Oh my God, it's my eyes, people. This time, I really did not want to see Andre on my own as it is too hard. Ciera wanted to see Andre a lot today and was reconsidering going with me to see him, but she was also not in the best shape and mind to see him and felt it would be best for her to see him the next visit when she was better with her mouth and well rested. Ciera then suggested that Tisha can go. She told me that Mr. Chambers can probably arrange something with Christina so that Tisha can just do her personal interview with Christina in the courthouse so we can see Andre right away from there. So I guess Tisha hadn't gone into the welfare office yet and sat down with Christina, right, and have the interview to be able to go see her nephew. Tisha was extremely hurt. So, it was hard for her to basically be humiliated like that. Luckily, Mr. Chamber did make this happen. There you go. Problem solved. Tisha had talked to Christina for a few minutes in the courthouse and was able to see Andre. When our case got called, all that was done was a trial hearing date set for March 27, 2013. When I heard March 27th, I was really mad. The longer this takes, the longer Andre falls into depression. The more his innocence is lost. The more he becomes confused. The more he feels unwanted and unloved by his family. I do not want my baby nephew growing up to resent me because he thought I never loved him when I left the office without him in my arms, or because he cried and called for me, but all I do is walk away and see him being taken away by someone else, as it was all I could do. I am not allowed to take my baby nephew home. After court, we had 15 minutes to get to the ministry office, and the actual car ride could be up to 25 minutes depending on traffic. That's how far the two from the courthouse to the ministry office. 15 minutes with green lights. Christina had already known 1 week prior to this day that we were going to be late in seeing Andre, as the lawyer contacted her and informed her that he was not going to be at the courthouse until 11:30. So if he would have showed up at 9:30, we would have had no problem, more than likely, getting to the ministry office. But because he showed up at 11:30, right, we were one of the last ones in. And then, of course, by the time it was done, we had 15 minutes to get to the next appointment. And if you're late, they write it down and they leave with the child, right? I mean, that's an excuse for them to leave. If you're 10 minutes late, 5 minutes late, and by this time, there could have been already, if you're like 5-10 minutes late, they put a restriction on there at one point. If you're 5 minutes late, you're not, forget it. I don't know. They canceled out a lot of appointments, but okay, let's just continue reading. I don't want to think about it too much. As well, Christina had told us that she contacted Shalonda and let her know that we were going to be late. Okay. With only 15 minutes to get to the ministry office on time, another issue popped up. My mom had to get a witness signature from an employee in the Family Matters Department regarding custody of Andre. It was 11:45, because I had filled out those papers, so there was something else I had to go off into a different department and have them sign it. It was 11:45 a.m. by this time, and the line was long. We waited in line for a good 10 minutes, and the woman who was working there pointed out a section in the paperwork that needed to be filled out. My mom and Ciera filled it out quickly, only to wait in line again for another 10 minutes. It was now 12:05 p.m. When the woman saw that it had been filled out, she then asked Ciera if she had picture ID. Ciera has no picture ID, people. She lost it. I got Ciera ID like 2-3 times. She lost them all. I don't know. And it's so hard trying to catch up to her. I've been wanting to get ID for her, but it's Ciera needs assisted living, people. She really does. Unfortunate, but she'll never get it. No. Because she's not an Uncle John, right? She can't pay her way through the healthcare system. Unfortunately, she did not. The woman said that she could not sign anything unless Ciera had picture ID. So, it goes back to that. There's more than one way to skin a cat, right? And Ciera was the cat being skinned. Once we left the courthouse, it was already 12:20 p.m., even though Christina had told us that she contacted Shalonda and let her know we were going to be late. Shalonda would only have waited 15 minutes past the scheduled visit. There's that cortisol. There's that brain trauma. right? Do you see it? As we were driving on our way to the ministry office, I called Christina's main office line to speak with her about whether Andre was there or not, to hopefully have Shalonda bring him back if she left with him. Consequently, Christina's line went to answering machine. I then called the main office and talked to the receptionist. I asked her if Andre was there, and she told me that he was, but Shalonda left with him. I told her the situation of being late and how the lawyer had informed Christina beforehand and that concessions should have been made as this was a special circumstance. But the receptionist just told me that Shalonda waited 15 minutes and then left. I asked the woman where Christina was, and she replied to me that she did not know. I said to her we were 5 minutes away from the office, in which time I asked to speak with a social worker when we arrived. So we went inside. The social worker I was talking to told me that she did not know where Christina was. She told me that she did not know we were going to be late and that Shalonda waited 15 minutes past 12. The appointment was for 12, but Shalonda left at 15 minutes after 12. We didn't leave the courthouse until, 12:20? She also told me that Christina never informed the office of the situation, and that next time, should we be late for any reason, it is better to call the office line and let the receptionist know how late we are going to be so that the foster care worker can wait. February 12th. So they never got to see Andre that day. And of course, they have court on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Or Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's normally when they have the court for people, right? For families. Where am I? February 12th, right here. Tuesday. The visit, what's going on? Blessed Angie, can you hear me? Yeah, you must be. You're commenting. Oh, there's lots of sad stuff. I don't know why it's so sad. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I live in Canada. I'm supposed to be living in a country that provides peace and opportunity and, and wellness and health and beauty. But it's not like that. It's not like that. The more you get to hear the real deal, it's not like that. Yeah. So, okay, I just wanted to see. You manage the shop in there, okay? If somebody comes in there and start talking stupid, just tell them to get out. All right. February 12, 2013. I can kind of read with these ones, so this is good. That's a thumbs up for that one. Because I was panicking with these ones. I'm like, oh my God, 24 hours. I can't even see out of these ones anymore. What the hell happened in 24 hours, people? Okay. This visit included, February 12th. This visit included Ciera, Tisha, myself, and Andre together today. We arrived at 11:50 a.m. and Andre arrived at 12 p.m. Tisha started crying. Now, this would have been the first time I think Tisha had seen Andre since he was taken away, which was January 15th of 2013. So almost a month later, Tisha finally gets to see Andre. Now, she's 15 years old, people. She was willing to volunteer her time with the daycare to help with children walks and all this other stuff. And a few other teens were volunteering their time. They were paying for their own security checks, okay, to be supportive of what the ministry was asking my kids to do in terms of putting Andre in daycare. So I took a negative and I tried to turn it into a positive by saying, okay, kids, since Andre is now in daycare, why not you guys step up to the plate? You know, it's Mama Lynn time. And, you know, Jimmy, you know Mama Lynn. Like, you know, we do things in the community. And come on, you can volunteer a little bit. Come on, Tisha, you can volunteer. So I had a band of kids that were willing to volunteer their time, people, for this fucking daycare, to take children on little walks after the teens had their security checks. If the workers needed help with the kids to walk to the park, the kids were willing to volunteer their time. And instead, they were plotting and scheming behind everybody's back and snatched up Andre like a rag doll. This is a month later. Tisha started crying when she seen him come out of the car. It makes me want to cry, okay? I said to her, I know, Tisha, it is very emotional every visit to see him and then forced to let him go. As soon as Andre got out of the car and saw us, he said, Mommy, May, and gave us all his hugs and kisses. We had brought McDonald's to eat with him during the visit. Andre was very hungry. He was hacking down his food so fast and still wanted more after everything was gone. As previously illustrated, we believe Andre is not getting his normal food intake with the foster care provider, as he yells to eat regularly and often cries for milk, pears, cheese, cookies, and chicken, and will normally go into frenzies about the food he wants if we do not have it with us, because he used to go looking for the food, right? Because the girls were making lunches and stuff, right? But this day, well, ShaMay was, I guess Ciera, but on this day, because it was all three of them, they were trying to mimic let's go to McDonald's, you know? So they went to McDonald's and they brought McDonald's that day. We'll normally go into frenzies about the foods he wants if we do not have it with us, or if we bring those foods for lunch and he wants more after it is gone. While trying to eat peacefully and joyfully with Andre, a woman who was supposedly keeping an eye on us for Christina was scowling at us and giving us dirty looks as we sit trying to eat McDonald's with our 24-month-old nephew son. And I think he was 28 months. By this time, he would have been pushing 29. They took him at 28 months. We are starting to get agitated with this woman because she had been standing across the doorway glaring at us through the open blinds for almost 10 minutes now. Ciera and I were saying to each other how this is disgusting. So they were being sabotaged with their visit. I remember when the girls came home, they were all upset. They were so upset. But then that's what you want. Now you're in a pinball with 3 pinballs bouncing off at the same time, because all 3 girls were in the room. All 3 girls experienced people being rude and scowling at them. Whispering. Kind of like what they did with Uncle John. Kind of like what they did a bit with ShaMay too. Whispering. She did it to herself. Must have been celebrating going to college to be a nurse like them. a Lucy. As if ShaMay wanted to be a Lucy. You know what the best medicine is for a Lucy? I'll show you. This right here. Do you see that? What is that? That's what you call 99.999%, 999%, 999% silver! And what's the best thing to get rid of fucking Draculas and vampires and that kind of shit? Silver! $2 silver! $5. $5. I want $5. Alright. When social services first told us everything is okay, Andre looks happy and healthy. We're working with you. The file is closed, and leading us to believe Andre was not going to be taken away, to slowly eliminating Ciera so that they could then force their attention on Mum, to argue with her and force her to. It was a progression. It led up to it, right? And of course, if you're just coming into the story, you're not going to know everything. That's what all those videos are for. You can go back and listen. If you don't like the story, don't listen. Kicked out to teach the heroin addict a lesson. But Ciera wasn't a heroin addict. She was on methadone and she was doing good for 28 months. Well, Andre was 28 months. I have pictures. Next time I do this, I'll bring the pictures of Ciera looking really good with her big belly. Even though that is the worst way to deal with heroin addicts, well, she turned into a heroin addict when she was kicked out. They said to Mom, if you don't kick out Ciera, we're taking Andre away. After Ciera was gone, they made plans for Andre to be in full-time daycare, which was completely nonsensical and irrational, as Andre was socialized every day. He had his own friends, our friends, the family, of course, and relatives. He did not need to be in daycare. They said to Mom, if you don't put Andre in full-time daycare, we're taking him away. And that's what they told me, people. When Mom tried to reason with Christina, she asked for part-time daycare, as Andre did not need to be in daycare at all. Andre was clingy with the family. He was just a baby, okay? He was well pampered, people. He looked forward to his routine with his family members, the attention that he got from his multiple family members. After being forced to put Andre into full-time daycare, Mom wanted to speak to a lawyer. Yeah, and we were talking on the phone. I was talking to the social worker and back and forth, and I said, well, what would happen? Because I've never been in this situation, people. I never lost my kids. And I just simply asked a question. I said, what would happen if I went and got a lawyer, right? Now that Ciera's kicked out of the house, Andre's in daycare, everything's kind of in limbo. What would happen if I went and got a lawyer? Well, as soon as I said that, within a few days, Andre was gone. Christina told Mom, if you get a lawyer, we're taking Andre away. You know, she probably did. And then he was gone. So lots of threats to take Andre away. If you don't kick out Ciera, we're taking Andre away. If you don't put him in daycare, we're taking Andre away. If you get a lawyer, we're taking Andre away. Kind of like that any means necessary with Uncle John, that he's never coming back home to the home that, you know, he looked after 5 kids, right? And felt very loved and nurtured and, you know, had a sense of belonging. He wasn't allowed to come back home to that home, right? Because it was by any means necessary with that British fucking social worker that happened to be brown. A Punjabi woman that's brown from Britain with a British accent. Right? Screeching. No, by any means necessary. He's going to convalescent care or he's going to his sister's, but he's never going back home. It's like a bad habit with these people. Additionally, if Mom did not comply to all the demands of social services, Andre was going to be taken away. Guess what? Mom complied to all their demands, which I did, and Andre was apprehended from us anyway. They needed to get rid of Ciera first so that they could only have to deal with the grandma. They used trickery against the family by giving misleading information and actions and forcing the family to take measures that we later found out we never had to do, like kicking out Ciera. It was all a setup, and they used a daycare as the source to steal Andre away from his family. Now they are especially treating us like a criminal family that deserves to be punished by psychologically and emotionally abusing not only the entire family, but Andre in the hardest hit ways by their techniques of using isolation, confusion, abandonment, low self-esteem, separation from his life at home, and creating feelings of sadness, depression, anxiety, loneliness, while trying to ease his memory of his aunties, Nana, Mummy, uncle, grandparents, pets, and all his positive and happy moments at home. Now that's something that I would write. So she did that very good. We cannot even have a peaceful and proper visit with Andre without some kind of disturbance happening because of these people. This woman who was scowling at us was trying to make us feel insignificant because she has power and we do not. I asked Ciera, can you close the blinds? I would like to eat without this vulture, the woman, harassing us. Ciera got up to close the blinds, and as soon as she reached to close them, the woman came flying. Don't breathe! Don't breathe! Came flying. I could visualize it, people. There's that cortisol. It never leaves you. Where's the word frickin' flying in here? Into the room, trying to be all high and mighty with attitude, telling us this is a supervised visit. You are not allowed to close these blinds. This woman knew how furious we were. Tisha was ready to scream at her, but of course she knew she had to keep her composure. Ciera said to the woman, I don't need you staring us down while we are trying to eat McDonald's with my kid. This is Andre's family. There's no privacy if all you're doing is scowling at us like we're nothing. That's rude, lady. The woman snidely said, if you don't listen to the rules, some things will have to change here. I said to the woman, we have never had a problem closing the blinds until now. You are the only one who is telling us we cannot. Can you please get Christina? The woman looked at me with attitude and still wanted to argue, so I kept asking for Christina. Like, you have to ask yourself, how is it these people that go to college learn this behavior? Now, I know lawyers have such a thing called the black book, right? The black law book. And they actually have like first edition, second edition, that kind of stuff. And it's a whole different ball game, like that funky case law, right? When you go to court and they whip out their black law book, right? You know what I mean? It's like whipping out case law that has absolutely no relation to what the hell you're doing, right? And for some reason or another, they seem to win because the cards are stacked against you, right? And you know, you know, you have to ask yourself how we allow these pre-selected, I have to say pre-selected people, because ShaMay wasn't allowed to become a nurse. She was distracted away from her dreams. She was, you know, in high school, right? She was there just for a short period of time. She was an honor student, and they wanted to bring her down into a tourism, you know, well, we're going to pick your elective for you, or we're going to pick your course. We can't give you band so that you can actually get better at your true gift, which was music. We can't do that for you. We're not going to nurture you to be a nurse because, again, we know that there's a dime a dozen coming off the fucking boats, right? Okay? And only the Lucy's get, you know, the pat on the back in terms of maybe Canadian-born, you know, raised for that purpose, right? Because I'm really starting to question. Because the people who looked after ShaMay, for the most part, well, who were advocating on, you know, her dead body, trying to play it off like it was alive, was more white women. That's why I call them Lucy's. But there was a couple of other ethnic nurses that were doting over a dead body, and I'm sure they were immigrant of nature. But those white girls, like, seriously, man, like, I'm thinking, you know, I don't know, people. I haven't quite figured it out yet. Little bit of both. I like to argue too. Yeah. Like, you need to write a nightmare series on my life. Like, you could do like a Stephen King series. Chapter, another chapter, well, not more than a chapter, a series. It's stupid. The Canadian government should be ashamed of itself. Okay. You are the only one who is telling us we cannot. The woman, okay, start up here. The woman snidely said, if you don't listen to the rules, some things will have to change here. I said to the woman, we have never had a problem closing the blinds until now. You are the only one who is telling us we cannot. Can you please get Christina? The woman looked at me with attitude and still wanted to argue, so I kept asking for Christina. After the woman left the room, we continued to bond with Andre. He was very sensitive and emotional this visit. Because Ciera, Tisha, and I were all visiting him, it brings him back to being at home. We made pictures together, and he made pictures for each of us by himself. We played with the cars and sang should be saying Old MacDonald had a farm and wheels on the bus. Andre was very attentive and well communicative this visit. However, he did not completely recollect Tisha. He was not saying her name that much, and he was a little off with her. This is the first time Andre and Tisha had seen each other for 29 days. So basically, under high trauma, it took 29 days to start splitting people. Key word, splitting the personality of a 28-month-old child. Which splits the personality. Because they break the child, and it splits the personality. Well, Andre was very happy that we were with him together. This also caused him to experience his grief. He was having crying sessions throughout the visit as he remembers being home with the family. So in one sense, he's coloring, but then 10 minutes later, he's crying people. And then he would go back to maybe playing with his cars, and then he's crying people. As you have a worker scowling through blinds at everybody. And this is in the best interest of a family. He would cry out of nowhere from the anxiety. Hold on. He was having crying sessions throughout the visit as he remembers being home with the family and wants to leave with us when the visit is over. He would cry out of nowhere from the anxiety, depression, sadness, and lacking that he feels. He would be playing with the car saying, vroom, vroom, racing, putting the people on the bus, and then Andre would just start crying. When we were coloring pictures with Andre, we were getting him to repeat the colors that he was using, and in doing so, he would start to cry. Do you know that Andre, to this day, at age 19 years old, if gets too much pressure put on him to perform something mainly in an academic sense, he'll start crying people. He came home crying. When Andre was sitting on the couch with us, he would start crying. Ask Tisha, she was there, she'll tell you. While we ate, he would cry off and on, and one of us would walk near the door. Andre would throw a fit because he thinks we were leaving, as he knows at some point we will. He was especially crying over his mom because he had a good relationship with his mom. Even though his mom was taking advantage of her family and was kind of like expecting us to look after Andre a bit more versus her being responsible for her own son, right? And, hunkering down into motherhood, and she did. She hunkered down for a long, long time, even as she was being derailed by Joan, those workers from that family preservation, fucking whatever it was, along with those social workers, and Austin. And then along came new social workers, and all of a sudden, poof, everything blew up, and we found ourselves in this situation. For a year-end budget, Well, it wasn't a year-end budget. They had to secure the next year. That was the thing. They needed a budget for 2013. That's why they took him in January and started in 13. But they started the process in December so that by January they could hook the deal for at least a guaranteed year. And he was. He was in foster care for 15 months. So mission accomplished at the expense of a vulnerable family that didn't deserve this. Okay? While we ate, he would cry off and on. If one of us even walked near the door, Andre would throw a fit because he thinks we were leaving, as he knows at some point we will. He was especially crying over his mom. Andre was having a nervous breakdown. He was grieving uncontrollably because he misses the constant feel of love, nourishment, fun, happiness, positivity, belonging, confidence, and everything else he had from the family. Andre would cry out of nowhere and then run into our arms to be held tightly and soulfully. He wanted to be comforted in the arms of the ones he knows and trusts the most. He wanted to feel our safety and security that has always protected him against harm and danger. He wanted to feel our loving energies that he is now deprived of. He wanted to feel what no one else can give him except his family. Andre has been calling and crying for us because he wants everyone to know that he wants to go home and be with his family. In the meantime, Christina walked in the room and asked if everything is all right. I said to her with Ciera, no, that brown woman was being very rude and was staring at us for 10 minutes through the blinds while we were trying to eat with Andre. Christina replied, well, Ciera, she said you were a little disrespectful. Ciera replied to Christina, I was not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't appreciate some lady harassing my visit and looking at us like we're going to do something to Andre. Christina tried to say it was because we had our phones out and she was making sure we were taking pictures. But with the way the woman was presenting herself, she was not making sure we were taking pictures. She was trying to intimidate us and cause trouble. Christina said she was going to speak with the woman. Around the end of the visit, Christina needed to speak with Ciera. Ciera left the room to go speak with Christina. As soon as Ciera started walking towards the door, Andre started screaming. He burst into tears and was having a panic attack. He knows Ciera will not stay with him as we are forced to leave him behind when visiting is over. When Ciera completely left the room, it took Tisha and me a few minutes to calm him down. We were distracting him with singing and watching videos on our phone. When Ciera came into the room, Christina had told us that Tuesdays Ciera will visit Andre alone, and Thursdays Ciera, Tisha, and me can see Andre together. So Christina now is changing the schedule. I thought it was canceled. Wasn't it canceled? February 5th? But I guess Christina changed her mind. I don't know. I'd have to go back and study it. As time was nearing its end, Andre was refusing us putting on his shoes and jacket. So he's fighting. He doesn't want his jacket on. He doesn't want his shoes on, right? Because he was telling the girls not to leave. He wanted to go with them, people. I tried to put on his jacket, but he pushed the jacket away, grabbed my hand, and had me sit on the chair. Ciera and Tisha attempted to put on his shoes, but he would cry and kick them away. He did not want us to go, and if we did, he wanted to go with us. When it was time to leave, Christina was holding Andre back because he was screaming and crying, trying to run towards us. The woman who was staring at us in the beginning of the visit was trying to anger us as we were leaving. She knew we were all upset. She knew Andre had been crying for us. She knew she pissed us off in the beginning of the visit. So she decided to play on everyone's emotions at the end, including Andre's. As we were leaving, and Andre is screaming, crying, and calling for us, holding out his arms and trying to run towards us, the woman is giving happy little faces, saying things like, "Oh, what a cute baby. I'll hold your hand. You're so cute." Not only in Andre's face, but also to ours. She was smiling as if it was something to be happy about. This woman thought it was funny. The last glimpse of Andre I had on this visit was looking at him one last time before I left and seeing him trying to get out of Christina's arms, calling, "May, Mommy, Tisha," his eyes looking so red, dreary, and watery, crying his heart out and pleading to take him with us. And then we go into February 13th. How long is this going on? 90 minutes already? Yeah, well, it's up on Google Documents, so I'm gonna add the link. I'm still learning this stuff here. So what I'm gonna do now? Oh, I can see the computer pretty good with these ones, much better than these ones. But for how long though, people? I only use this one day, just one day, and I can't even use these glasses now. These ones are different, right? They're different different. I think these were somebody's prescription glasses or something. Anyway, I want to now go on to something else here. We'll come back to that. Okay. Let's see. I said 3 topics, so we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay. All right. You see this? This is all fine and dandy. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I guess, well, what was I doing? Oh, you couldn't see the words. I'm so sorry. Fuck. I'm going to have to use ShaMay's computer for this. I'm so sorry. You're looking at me reading that shit. The words should have been up on that. Oh. Because I'm only using one screen here, right? That was stupid of me. I'm so sorry. Next time I do this, I'll bring out ShaMay's computer to try and do this to get I don't know. It's a laptop. I don't use it for that purpose. And I think it has a mic in it too, so I don't know how that would work. It might, because the laptop itself has a camera and a mic, and God forbid if it starts conflicting with this one, right? Okay, where are we? Okay, first we'll address this. You should be able to see this. Now this is somebody that's been kind of like being overzealous. This could be a friend or this could be a foe. Right? Could be just somebody just simply, curious, like they say, right? And just, maybe a little impatient, maybe expecting too much. Or, it could be an instigator who, who knows I have bad eyes and making me struggle to read these paragraphs, which you can't technically call them a paragraph. More like a run-on paragraph, right? And that's fine. Not everybody can write it, at the same pace. It's a skill that you develop. So we'll leave it up there, and, you can work on your skills, right? At least you're trying. I give you credit for that. But in terms of getting caught up with the rigmarole, if you don't want to take the time to go into my videos and listen to them and figure out some of this shit for yourself, but, expect me to answer you just because you asked me a question, even when I might not even know the answer, I mean, that's just starting to lean towards maybe a GMOR or a Duncan Clan or, someone like that, right? That just wants to be a shit disturber versus than somebody that actually wants to help with the situation at hand. Because it's hard for me to read, right? I'm surprised that these glasses are even working for this. And even then, for how long, right? The more I use this, and the more that they poke at my eyes with their machines and the bright lights that, it's not just a machine pushing into your eyes, or, you're looking into machines with different light spectrums, right? And my eyes are they're too sensitive for it, people. I have very sensitive skin, very soft baby skin. I'm 60 years old and I got skin like a baby. The girls use creams and all. I never, once in 4 years. Not even in 4 years. I never put cream on my body. And if you were to touch my skin, it's like baby skin. I'm telling you. I'm 60 years old. My body doesn't look like I'm 60 because my skin is so soft. Right? Where that came from, I don't know. I don't know what the point of that was, because I'm getting tired now. But I've been copacetic with this person here. I've been patient, more than patient. I've tried to answer a few questions. You can see this, but they keep coming in with more demands. Lots of people would, by this point, probably would have already banned them, deleted their comments. But I'm trying to give this person the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, you can consider yourself to be entertainment just as much as you call me as a fake or entertainment. I'm not the one with just 2 letters and 1 number for a username. I'm somebody with a legitimate federal trademark as a username. And that trademark applies to 2 countries, not just 1, right? So, there's nothing fake about what you see when it comes to my videos. Now, in terms of answering questions, well, this is where we're going to go into here. This person right here, okay, first of all, this other person, let's talk about people, okay? This other person, where are we? See? What did I do? I guess this is where it gets monotonous. This person right here, okay, just some random person coming in, whatever. They're saying, how do we know Julian's really dead? That's what this person's asking me. Saying, why haven't you gone to the funeral? Why haven't you gone banging on the door and saying, let me in, let me in. I want to see Julian in the coffin. I have that right. I'm Amari's grandmother. First of all, it ain't going to happen like that, people. Okay? Alright? I would never want to go bang on a door like that. First of all. When we had ShaMay's memorial, we didn't allow Julian and his family and his friends to come to the memorial. Now, if they would have showed up, what would we have done? Probably nothing. We would have let them walk through the door and find their way out the door. I don't know what kind of reception they would have gotten, but it wouldn't have been anything too harsh. You know what I mean? Right? But they didn't come. So that was fine. Right? Nobody was crying over them. Let's just put it that way. So to expect me to go do investigative work for you because you want to post on my video that it's my responsibility to prove that Julian is dead because you tried to Google his name on Google, right? And the only thing that comes up are those little teeny weeny hit news articles with the cops putting out the whole fucking police force for Julian to find his killers, right? But giving very little information, not providing a picture as to what Julian looks like, and not mentioning it since then outside of they were on it in terms of hit, right? And somehow that's my fault. That, you know, this person can't fucking Google more information and they expect me to go off and Google it and prove that Julian is dead. Like, just that in itself warrants being blocked, right? But then on the other hand, the person has valid points because there isn't that much information out there for all the hoopla around being shot in front of a fucking gas station, right? You know, the police should be reporting on it, and they're not. And they're not, people, because they don't want to have to start reporting on ShaMay. So it's like another fucking cover-up. While his own family covers it up because they've put everything basically on private, right? Because if you Google Julian Johnson, you'll find a GoFundMe. There it is right there. That's Julian. You know, anyone that goes on to ShaMay's page or wherever, right? You're going to see that this is Julian. Now, I doubt that the police put this up to fake the funk in the public and put Julian into some great grand witness program. Like, I do believe Julian is dead. But it's not for me to prove that. And for you to come into my channel and critique me because I'm not fucking talking about it when it already makes me uncomfortable, right? I never expected that to happen, that's for sure. You know. But I'm sure in the hell not going to be banging on no fucking doors. So, you know, it's right there. Julian Johnson, GoFundMe. Click it. It's still up. So far, they've got $4,564 through a GoFundMe for Julian's burial and funeral, which is obviously private because they're not putting up any obituaries. And they've got everything on, like, lockdown in terms of if you go into Facebook and go to his sister's page, the one that has been stalking me for over 2 years, there's Julian and there's Howie. They're both dead. Okay? There's Julian. That's the best that this girl does. And just some other shit. But they don't, nothing. She put some videos up in there with him, with Amari. Okay, that's fine. That's fair, right? But then when you do this stuff, there it is right there. Do you see this? Tasty Bonnie, December 31st, 2019. Can you see this? Okay, yeah. Okay, hold on. Right here. Look at the date. December 31st, 2019. Tasty Bonnie Dixon Johnson. Added a new photo. That is me, people. Right there. Okay? She didn't know on December 31st that her brother was going to be shot down in a fucking gas station at 6:30 at night on January 19th of 2020. Because, In December, she was too busy running around creating all these fake Instagram fucking accounts under New Nations Unity or whatever, as other people on Facebook and through that network were getting them shut down on my behalf. That's what was happening. And then she moved, whatever she was posting on these fake fucking user accounts, shit, just trashing me, right? And my other Tisha, and just doing whatever. She moved them onto her personal page, which I can prove to you, because you even suggested that this girl wasn't fucking stalking me, and that whatever my content is, I'm just putting out what is it called? Fake content. And I'm like rolling my eyes. I don't know if you can see that. As if, is that showing? Let me see. No. That doesn't show. Because I don't have it connected to my computer. That comes in with my little box. This thing over here. Comes in with this over here. And I don't want to muck around with it. Does this show? Hold on, I'm trying something. Yeah. Okay. Do it this way. This is what she's been posting on Facebook. Basically what she did, because she did this on Instagram, everybody was, do you see how many's going through here? Everybody was, this is a supporter, look at this. The inside of Tisha Charney's mom's crib. After all those fake New Nations Unity accounts got taken down off of Instagram, she ended up putting all this shit on her main Instagram page. Tisha's Charney's cracked out mother back at it again. And if you notice here, I had to report it. People. Right? Bullying or harassment. Okay? That's what I did. It was something like 49 fucking little things. Like, look at this. You can see. So, I don't know. I think they ended up taking away her Instagram account. Right? That's not what I wanted to happen. I just wanted my shit off there. And then what she did is she started moving the crap onto Facebook. Now this was before her brother was murdered. Okay? There's another one, right? I had like 49 different fucking things here. Right? To the point where it was almost like she was suggesting for somebody to come by and set my fucking house on fire. Right? Oh, the fire department. And then she has her little comments, whatever it is. Right? So, for this person, ongoing stalking. So, for this person to sit up there and fucking want to play it off like I'm full of shit. Like, you need to get a life. And then when you go to her YouTube page, which you probably already seen, and you read what's in her description box, which is clearly misleading and, you know, defamatory, right? You know, I mean, like, how can you say she's not fucking stalking me? That girl was running through my house, okay, at 3 o'clock in the morning, the day after ShaMay got home from the hospital, just to get it so that ShaMay would be asked to go downstairs so they could scoop up ShaMay, take ShaMay to the mother's house, try and get ShaMay to pay rent there, and then have ShaMay fill out the, what is it called, birth certificate, pick a fight with ShaMay, so that when ShaMay was like this, they pushed the button, right, so that the name only Johnson was on the birth certificate, and then Julian started to manhandle and push on ShaMay, even though ShaMay had just had a cesarean, as the sisters in the living room getting ready to dash out the door with the fucking baby. Okay? Amari was what, 4 days old? 5 days old? With ShaMay jumping into a taxi and leaving everything behind after she got back her baby. So don't ever sit up there and tell me that I haven't been fucking gang stalked. Because if that girl had any respect for me, she wouldn't have been running around in my house at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning thinking it was a joke. Because it wasn't. So that's just proof of that. So now that we've dealt with that, that part is over. Okay? So, there you go. Tasty Bonnie Dixon Johnson. If you want to know if Julian's really dead, contact her, and I'm sure she'll tell you. Alright? And then, if you go into my page, I just wanted to point this out. Okay. This is Julian going after ShaMay with a broom in play. Keep it in mind, it's a hard bristle broom, you know, like worse than a corn broom. But because he's smiling while he's doing it, somehow it made it okay. But let me ask you, would you like a broom in your fucking face? With the only thing protecting you from bristles coming towards your eye was your cell phone? As he's laughing, thinking it's funny, listening to his music. That's not really the pictures that I wanted to show you. The other ones are somewhere else. But then, since we're looking at pictures here, I was reminded, as I was pulling up those pictures, how beautiful my daughter really was, people. I had a very beautiful daughter. Well, I had beautiful daughters. Ciera was beautiful too. This one is one of my favorites. This one I really like. And I like this one with her being pouty. I really like that one too. Well, sorry, you can't see that with my finger. This one I really like. And this one I really like. I really like these ones. What can you see? Okay, you can see. Where am I? Ciera doing well. Ciera not doing well. Ciera breastfed Andre for a very long time. Very long time, people. Longer than ShaMay, that's for sure. I'd have to ask Tisha, see if she remembers. It was over 1.5 years. It was a long time. Pretty sure she breastfed Andre. Because I remember. And of course, this is one of my favorite ones because that's my baby girl right there, right? And right here. That's when she was like really young. And that was when we were at a park event. And this was before she became aware of being critiqued for not measuring up to society's expectations. And she was just a little wild child. She took a hold of that mic. And I'm telling you, people, she had every parent in that park chasing the flag for hours with this game that she created on the mic and got the kids against the parents as she had them running around in groups chasing a flag. That's what she was doing right there. I was like so amazed. For hours, like 2-3 hours. It was amazing. She was like, oh my God, 8 years old or something, maybe even younger than that. And then she turned into a 12-year-old who suddenly became self-conscious, and because she was a little overweight, right? Because, a little heavy set, right? That made it a little harder for her. But, she was always conservative, right? Because she was high intelligent, right? By that time, 12, she was playing piano. And, and then she kind of got silent. She wasn't as free-spirited like she was in those days. But that silence turned to print, right? That silence went to paper and pen, right? And of course, the public union sector doesn't like stuff like that. Unless, of course, they're groomed to maybe be a Lucy. And then they might be allowed to live and be fruitful and multiply. So I'm going to read this. So I touched on all three bases pretty much. So I'm just going to finish it on this one. And because this is probably getting long. Oh yeah. Too much. I know, she's beautiful. I miss her so much. We all miss her so much. So much. Okay, let's stay focused and we'll finish it up with this. It's not gonna, we're only on page, I don't know what page we are, but we got a long way to go. So we're gonna have to do this more on another day. Thank God I found some glasses that actually worked. I was a little concerned about that. All right, February 13th, 2013. This is a Wednesday. Shalonda told Christina that she did not want Ciera, Tisha, and myself seeing Andre together next visit because it is too much for him. Shalonda claimed that Andre was acting out and misbehaving as the experience of seeing all three of us together was stressful for him. No kidding. What does she expect? Andre wants to come home. He needs to come home. And when he got ripped away from his family that provided the proper love and nourishment he needed, of course he is going to act out and misbehave. It is not hard to see that Andre wants to come home. When he cries for his family. When he calls for his family. When he acts out and misbehave, it's because he does not know what else to do. It is Andre's way of telling these people that he wants to be with his family. Shalonda knows that Andre misses his family, that he wants to come home, as she has stated to me that Andre constantly calls for us, and she can see how he acts when we visit him. Andre never wants us to leave him behind when the visitation is over. Shalonda has no right to say that. She does not want the three of us to see Andre together. Together. The only means of Andre seeing his family now is through the visit. We do not have the privilege of being able to be around Andre all the time anymore, as that was taken away from us. For Andre, of course, it is going to be hard to see any of us, let alone all of us together. But it also allows Andre to know that we are here. We are not going anymore. We love him, we care about him, and that he can still feel us as a family. That is why it is important for Andre to see all of us. He can still feel us as a family. Sadly, no matter what is going on, these people are trying to do everything to keep us from seeing Andre regularly or as planned. Canceling appointments, making new restrictions, dictating what we can eat with Andre, and now they are trying to keep us from seeing Andre together. They weren't allowed to bring McDonald's anymore. Christina had called Ciera this morning and told her that tomorrow, the Thursday visit, was only to be with her and Andre, and not included with Tisha and me, because Shalonda does not want to deal with Andre acting out, as it is too stressful for him. Thursdays are the days that I see Andre. Now Tisha and I are not allowed to see him on Thursday because Shalonda cannot handle the fact that my baby nephew is emotionally hurt. He is missing his family. He is mourning. He is confused. He feels abandoned. He feels isolated. He feels uncomfortable. And this is obviously going to make him act out. At 28 28-month baby should never have to feel this way. Andre is feeling every minute he is separated from his family. He would have been 29 months by this time. February 21st, 2013, Thursday. Christina called Ciera this morning and dictated to her that Tisha and I cannot see Andre today. She told Ciera that she was only going to see Andre even though Ciera's personal appointments are on Tuesday. Okay, did you hear that? Christina called Ciera. Thursday was supposed to be ShaMay's day, but Christina canceled out, said, no, y'all can't come together. Only Ciera can come. Christina called Ciera this morning and dictated to her that Tisha and I cannot see Andre today. She told Ciera that she was only going to see Andre even though Ciera's personal appointments are on Tuesdays. With court either being a Tuesday or a Thursday. With Andre, and Thursdays are for me as well as Tisha and Ciera if they come to see him. Christina or anyone else on her team that is involved in this case never contacts me when it comes to a change in the visitation that affects myself and or Tisha seeing Andre. Thereupon, I am immensely agitated. There's that cortisol. Every day, every week, all week. It goes into months, and then it stretches into years, and then just as something maybe good happens, and you start to recuperate, slam bam, Uncle Sam, they took Uncle John. And the process started all over again, people. Thereupon, I am immensely agitated and rather... Now, this is a word I don't know, and honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Whew, my son probably would. Irresistible. That these people are altering our appointments to the condition where we are seeing Andre less because they can do whatever the hell they want as their social services, and they have power. As soon as I found out that Christina had told Ciera that Tisha and I were not going to visit Andre today, I immediately contacted Christina's office line. She did not answer her phone, so I left a message on her answering machine. Before I had even talked to my mom and contacted Christina, Ciera had gotten into an argument with my mom because she is not allowed downstairs as she makes a mess, steals, and disregards the possessions of others. Sadly, Ciera does not care about anyone else but herself. So I tried to ban her from the basement, people, and more than likely I had to put up with her up here, okay? Andre wasn't home, so I got stuck with this rebellious, raging, off and on roller coaster of sickness that just spiraled down as I tried to keep up with court dates. I tried to hold keep my kids from crashing, whatever it was, right? It's hard, people. It's really hard. Sadly, Ciera does not care about anyone else but herself. Okay, hold on. Before I'd even talked to my mom and contacted Christina, Ciera had gotten into an argument with my mom because she is not allowed downstairs as she makes a mess, steals, and disregards the possessions of others. Sadly, Ciera does not care about anyone else but herself. So she, of course, will not respect any boundaries that are laid down to her. She went downstairs anyway and did what she wanted, making noise, making a mess, being rude, banging around, in all knowingly that it will cause trouble. Ciera understands she is prohibited from being downstairs, but still chooses to disobey our wishes and boundaries. My brother, Marcane, has caught her downstairs and instantly started to ask Ciera why she was downstairs when she knows she is not supposed to be in this part of the house. I'm telling you, people, she still climbs, if she can, through windows. That video where I made reference to that individual with their paragraph, the first part, you hear my son running Ciera out because she was trying to crawl through the window to steal dog food and cat food that was in the kitchen. Okay? This was written in 2013, and this is 2020, and we're still dealing with the shit. Okay? She's in jail right now, people. She's been calling me, but I haven't been picking it up because I don't have money to send off to the fucking jailhouse. Did you hear that? What's moving around? Cats, right? Something on the porch. Because it's moving again. Could be somebody creeping my stairs. When I'm in the house by myself, I lock myself in. Just because Julian is dead doesn't mean I feel safe. I don't remember what I was reading. Okay. Ciera had gotten into an argument with my mom because she is not allowed downstairs. Read all that. Ciera understands she is prohibited from being downstairs, but still chooses to disobey our wishes and boundaries. My brother Marcane had caught her downstairs and instantly started to ask Ciera why she was downstairs when she knows she was not supposed to be in that part of the house. Ciera replied with no remorse, no respect, and with spitefulness, saying, like, "Go the fuck away, Marcane. Leave me alone. I do what I want. Get the fuck away from me," and so forth, while she continued to run around downstairs like a lunatic, doing what she pleased. Marcane, fed up like the rest of us with Ciera's antics, told Ciera to get out and that she was not allowed downstairs. This quickly escalated into a hollering match between Marcane and Ciera, as Tisha and I could hear everything as we were trying to sleep. Marcane got Ciera to leave, but she ran upstairs with attitude and started complaining to my mom about how she was not allowed downstairs. My mother confronted Ciera yet again and reminded her that she ruined her privileges of being downstairs because of her disrespectful ways to the environment, people, and possessions possessions that are in the area, and how Marcane, Tisha, and myself do not want her downstairs, as we want to discontinue in dealing with her antics in any way. Not allowing Ciera downstairs is one of those ways. Consequently, Ciera cannot handle the fact that she is not allowed to do something, combined with her personality of not listening, spitefulness, disrespect, carelessness, verbally abusive behavior, and major aggression. Ciera went into attack mode as she cannot take no for an answer. She was screaming and yelling at my mom, calling her names, and then making threats that we were never going to get Andre. She then stormed off while she loudly mumbled under her breath how we're all goofs. Because she was having a nervous breakdown, people, and the social workers were trying to get her to put Andre up for adoption. Sure in hell wasn't encouraging her to give him to me. That's for sure. Or making her think that she was going to get into a program and get Andre back, when in fact that was just making her think that. And anytime she tried to conform, it was sabotage, like that time when she went to options and found her own way there and was responsible and sat for 45 minutes waiting for her son, and he just never showed up. She was banned from a basement where she had her most happiest moments as an adolescent, as a young woman, as a teenager, to have it all ripped away from her at the whim of a 24-5-year-old social worker who had just gotten out of college and had something to prove. All right. Andre's never coming home. I hate you. All for the simple fact that she caused her own removal from downstairs. We warned her not to be irreverent towards anyone and everything downstairs. Never mind the whole household time and time again. But Ciera is dirty, rude, careless, because she was lashing out. She was rebellious. She was sick. And when they're sick, right, and they're feeling hopeless, doesn't take long. And then that's when deep-rooted mental illness sets in, because they come into contact with people that are very violent, and they themselves become abused with people slapping them and doing crazy shit, people. to break them, to split the personality, right? Mind control. Break the spirit, split the personality, right? People want to talk about sacrifice, right? You know, they murder somebody for sacrifice. A lot of these people that are out on the streets, they're the living sacrifice. Ciera's a living sacrifice. Okay, she's being sacrificed by city officials, by your policing department, by your government politicians, by your public union sector in terms of the healthcare. Because again, it boils down to that 57% of the provincial budget or state budget just on the surfeit books that are going to government wages and basic, you know, benefits in terms of medical and that type of stuff. That's not the other ledgers that are buried on deeper down where, you know, they build in those disability pensions and just other little perks along the way, right? And that's why there's very limited resources to help people like Ciera. That's why they go after the Uncle Johns, because it's the Uncle Johns that can actually pay for the care facilities, unlike Ciera, where you have to pay for the care facility. She doesn't have the pension plan and those types of things to pay for the care facility. Uncle John did, so he was a hot commodity. Okay. And anyone with any common sense knows that. Consequently, Ciera cannot handle the fact that she's not allowed to do something. Read that. Okay, we're all goofs. Andre's never coming home. I hate you, except all for the simple fact that she caused her own removal from downstairs. It was only so long that we were going to put up with it, and therefore she is infuriated that we are taking measures that case the stress in the house. Moreover, Ciera barely had made any of her appointments with Andre, in conjunction with her chronic addict ways, her abusive relationship with Austin, her street life, her character of easily getting sidetracked, and with how she reacted to not being able to go downstairs, because that was her room down there, people. I had just bought her a brand new bed a week before she got kicked out of the house. Think about it. She had the bed for 1 week. And then her whole life came crashing down. And because she had a disability, it didn't take long before people took advantage of her and turned her into what she is today. Ciera had more than one handler. She had the street thugs, she had the police, she had the social workers, she had the healthcare staff, she had the tricks. It was a concerted effort to turn Ciera into what she is today, simply because she didn't have a pension plan, an old age pension, a government pension, a federal pension. And she sure in the hell didn't have no life insurance policy to steal. She gets jail and the streets. Jail and the streets. Jail and the streets when she's not in and out of the hospital, between hospital and streets. Hospital and streets. Moreover, Ciera barely has made any of her appointments, okay? In conjunction with her chronic addict ways, her abusive relationship with Austin, her street life, her character of easily getting sidetracked, and with how she reacted to not being able to go downstairs, she ran off with a spiteful attitude. Fight or flight? Ciera is a little bit of both. Leaving everyone to think she was not going to make her appointment today. When Christina returned my phone call, I told her that I was upset that she is making it so Tisha and I cannot see Andre. I empathized to Christina how she is making us feel insufficient. Sorry, I'm getting tired now, okay? To Christina, let me wake up. See, I have no coffee. I've been wanting a coffee for the last 45 minutes. But my eyes are like getting tired now for sure. I stated to Christina everything that had happened. Okay, let me finish. I empathized to Christina how she is making us feel insufficient and unimportant in the process of being with Andre. I stated to Christina everything that has happened before she called and that I wanted to see Andre today. Christina tried to resist what I was saying by telling me, we're not trying to make you feel insufficient, but Ciera has missed appointments and it is too stressful for Andre to see all of you. I told Christina how we both know Ciera will probably not show up for this appointment and how Andre needs to see us as we need to see him. I expressed to Christina that we have already apprehended. I expressed to Christina that they have already apprehended him from us and not to disallow me and or Tisha from accompanying Andre, especially on the days every Thursday when I and now Tisha is scheduled to see him. Christina was trying to be reluctant for whatever reason I cannot understand, other than the excuse that Ciera missed appointments simply because they want to keep Andre from us. I then tried to reason with Christina. I said to her, this is supposed to be my visit with Andre. We scheduled every Thursday for myself to see him, and now with Tisha and Ciera, if they come. We both know there is a high chance that Ciera will not show up. I want to see Andre, and Tisha wants to see Andre. We miss him. 15 years old and 17 years old. We miss him, and we need to be with him, just like he needs to be with us. If Ciera happens to show up, then Tisha and I will not participate in the visit. But if Ciera does not show up, Tisha and I will see Andre. Even then, Christina was displaying unwillingness, but she agreed. She told me she needed to talk to her TL team leader and that she would call me back. Additionally, Christina called me back and confirmed the agreement. Is this still running? Okay. Additionally, Christina called me back and confirmed the agreement. I went upstairs to tell my mom what was going to happen, but we were all under serious belief that Ciera was not going to attend this appointment. My mom made lunches for Tisha, Andre, and me. She made cheese sandwiches with cut cucumber and strawberries as a side and apple juice for him to drink. I had gathered up some plain potato chips for Andre as his treat for all of us to snack on. My mom had driven me to the office where Tisha would meet us there and together waited for Andre to come. My mom had said to me that she was going to wait down the street just in case Ciera did show up and Tisha and I had to leave. Because remember, people, I stayed away. I did not let Andre see me. It was too much fucking drama. It was pathetic. One of the worst experiences in my whole life, and I've been through some shitty shit. And it just keeps getting worse. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you something. Where did I put it? Oh, where did I put it? Oh, come on. I wanted to show you something. Where did I put it? Hold on a minute, let me see. I might have to save it for next time. I don't see it. I might have it on my sewing table. I couldn't believe it when I seen it. Because I know exactly what the fuck it is. It's not black magic, people. It's some sort of, because we have a lot of, what do you call that? Different ethnic groups out here, right? And they're coming every day. And so they have their own newspapers. You can't get the Surrey Now no more, or the Delta Leader or whatever. No, we don't get, like, remember the old newspapers? We don't get those anymore. I don't know why. Don't get no newspapers for the local area. None, absolutely none. But if you go to like a little grocery store or something, you'll have like stacks full of papers written in different languages. I really wanted to show you this. Hold on. Maybe I put it over here. I can't find it. I so wanted to show you. Okay, I can't show you right now because I don't know where it is. I put it someplace. What it is a magazine. Okay, it's a magazine that it's written in, different languages, right? 2 different kinds. And in one of them, they have people advertise their business, right? Okay. And it's some guru from India, right? Just some spiritualist that you can go see. And he's like an exorcist, right? He washes away, he scares away the black magic. All the evil spirits around, all this shit, right? I'm reading this, right? His little advertisement, and like I'm telling you, people, maybe from somebody from India, maybe feels like they would have to hire somebody like that to get rid of evil spirits, or somebody in the neighborhood practicing black magic on your family, but when you're walking in my shoes, it really just boils down to racism. It really does, people. Anything bad that's been happening to my family doesn't require a guru from India to do an exorcism to get rid of fucking demons who practice black magic. Okay? What it's going to require is for these ethnic communities out here to step up to the plate and be real Canadians. But I don't think that's the mission, people. It's not. It's political genocide. And as much as they want to sugarcoat it with their gurus, thinking that they're providing a great service in fucking Surrey or anywhere else they operate, all you have to do is look to the Surrey Memorial Hospital to see what you get. I have it here. I was going to show you because it even got horns. Fuck. Like, Jesus Christ. Right? We have a lot of predators out here. For whatever reason. Because it's a takeover. It's a different kind of war. Right? It's not a war that it's with bombs and, machine guns and, what do you call those things? Grenades. Or, knives or swords or whatever. It's an ethnic cleansing of Canada. That's what's happening. Has nothing to do with black magic. Has everything to do with racism. On a multi-level layer. Multi-level layer. You get it from over here. You get it from over here. It's in pockets where, some of these pockets get quite large in terms of the numbers of people walking the same straight line. I'm almost done. I'm just going to finish whatever this one is for the night, and that will be it. I don't know where I put those magazines, but I brought it home specifically for Alive. What am I going to do? Go to a guru, an Indian guru, and say, hey, Mr. Guru, what you going to do for me? You going to go educate your fucking people? Are you going to educate your people in temples to not be racist against people like me? All right? Are you going to educate people from your culture to start taking some responsibility for all the ills that are going on in our society when it comes to, the influx of drugs? Heroin comes from India, people. In the whole 9 yards. Illegal organ harvesting with their own teams. Surgeons, that is. You can't make this stuff up, people. It's not entertainment. So yeah, Mr. Guru, what you going to do about that? You going to go educate your people and tell them to smarten up? Or are you going to continue to blame me and my family because we're the weaker among the many of strong? And the only reason they're strong is because they prey on the weak. And then they try and blame black magic on it. Or demons and devils. Okay. What is it called? Call a spade a spade? Is that not how it goes? Call a spade a spade? I brought home that newspaper to call a spade a spade. Okay, let me finish. I have to bring it back up here. I want to see Andre, and Tisha wants to see Andre. We miss him. We need to be with him just like he needs to be with us. If Ciera happens to show up, then Tisha and I will not participate in the visit. But if Ciera happens to show up, then Tisha and I will not participate in the visit. But if Ciera does not show up, Tisha and I will see Andre. Even then, Christina was displaying unwillingness. Okay, we read that. I had gathered some plain potato chips. Read that. That way she could drive us back to the house instead. Okay, so that's where we were. I dropped him off. I went down a little way so nobody would notice that I was even around. And I waited just in case the girls were kicked out, right? I didn't want them walking home because we didn't know what the hell was going on. Because the days were constantly being changed around, canceled, whatever. That way she could drive us back to the house instead of walking and carrying all that food. The main reason she chose to wait down the street, though, was because she did not want to see Andre until he comes home. She was starting to cry and was very emotional when she was telling me this. I asked her, "Are you sure you do not want to see him?" She said with tearful eyes, "See him come out of the car and that's it. No, I cannot see him like this. I am waiting for him to come home. It is already bad enough that he has to see you girls and then cry because he cannot come home. I do not want to be more stressful. I do not want it to be more stressful than it already is for him. If he sees me, it will be harder for him and me. It is too hard for my mom to see him after it has been almost 2 months of not seeing him at all." I waited in the office for 15 minutes as I was early. Everyone was completely under the impression that Ciera was not going to attend, but she did. When I saw her come into the office, I felt a type of resentment towards her because now Tisha and I cannot see Andre, and this is the time she chose to actually show up. I was happy that Ciera came, of course, but I felt more anger than happiness as I had the lunches ready. Tisha was on her way, and we really needed to see Andre and excited that we could have. Ciera and I were chatting with each other, and when I told her when Christina and I had talked about, I expressed to Ciera that I was very upset that I could not see him now and how I was really looking forward to eating the lunches and just being able to interact with him. Ciera understood this. She said to me that she would ask Christina if Tisha and I could stay for 30 minutes of the visit, and then the rest is just for her and Andre. Christina was not in the office at this time, so we had to speak with Miriam Kane, Christina's supervisor. Ciera asked if Tisha and I could stay for 30 minutes of the visit at the lunch, as the lunches were made and we really wanted and needed to see Andre. Miriam tried to resist by saying exactly what Christina said. Ciera missed her last appointment, and she should only see Andre alone today. I told her that it was not my fault. Ciera missed her appointment, and that my appointment to see Andre should not be affected or altered. It is not fair. ShaMay's in school, pulling in A's and B's, people. No matter the stress, no matter all this shit, she was still pulling in A's and B's. It is very frustrating, and writing this stuff. It is very frustrating and maddening interacting with people that want to ruin your life and tear families apart. Finally, they start canceling. Firstly, sorry, I'm getting tired. How much more is this? Because to be honest with you, I'm getting kind of tired. Yeah, look how many more pages, people. Oh no, that's too many. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. So we're gonna stop on page 21. With the supervisor. Saying, no. You're not seeing your nephew today. Nope. Okay. Very easy for me to get cynical. So we're on page 20. Right? 21. I'm going to stop because I'm tired. Okay? This has been a long time. So, recap before I go. This person here, you need to take a chill pill. I can't read this very well, okay? I've got other things I have to focus on. I can't answer all your questions. Alright? You need to work on your language skills. Just a little bit of advice there, right? I left him up to show you that I am respecting you, although I'm a little suspicious, wondering if maybe you're not a cove monster or a Cheryl or someone like that just wants to instigate and cause trouble and be a distraction. Okay? I proved to you that Julian, in my opinion, is dead because there's his GoFundMe. Okay? If you click on that, you go onto his GoFundMe. That's the Julian. You can compare that picture to the pictures on ShaMay's page, which you should be able to link into through my page, even though it's on private. It's somewhat memorialized. So I've been told that you should be able to still see some of ShaMay's page because I haven't been able to access her page because that got memorialized. I have to take it to court. So, figure that out, right? So anyway, there's that. And then if you're really that concerned and you're not sure and you want to know, I mean, it's not that hard to contact the sister, okay? And you can follow up as to whether he's really dead or not, because at this point in life, it is what it is. Right? So we've taken care of that. And then if you go into my page, you'll see ShaMay. There's many, many pictures there of ShaMay. There's Tisha when they're young, right? Of course, after ShaMay died, she really became a focus for me, right? This is not funny, even though people will try and justify it as it was being done in play. Again, let me take a very coarse, bristled broom and shove it up into your face as I'm laughing, kicking it with the music, thinking it's fucking funny, and then come back and tell me how you feel. Okay? Because that's the way it is. Google Julian Johnson GoFundMe. I doubt the cops would be putting up Julian's face there, collecting money for a fake funeral. So, stop and think about what you're asking me. Seriously. What am I looking at now? Okay, I'm going to exit out now, people. All right?